I have new details on the Charlie Kirk death that have not been reported anywhere as far as I know. I've been doing a deep dive and I want to go through that information with you. Like Candace Owens, I've been digging in with witnesses, my contacts, and people close to Charlie Kirk that I know have these details. Yesterday, I shared exclusive details with my audience on Lance Twigg, the furry boyfriend. Go back and check that out if you didn't see it. Today, I'll go through all I've gathered on Charlie's death. Some of it never shared before, but right from the mouth of people I knew would have answers. Please make sure to like and share this because there's millions of people out there that are going to want to know these answers. As you know, I've stayed away from the big conspiracy stories. Some of you blasted me for not going over them, and now they've been proven to be sexy and mysterious and sizzling, but completely false. So I am just trying to bring you the truth in between covering other big news stories. Now, Chris Martenson, who's been on the show before for the Trump Butler shooting, did an excellent analysis. In it, he said that Charlie Kirk is definitely shot from the front, and if only he knew where the injury began, it would help with his analysis. I now have that answer. I hope this will get to Chris Martenson. I've also invited him to come back, and I hope he'll take me up on that. Okay, here's what I've gathered. The injury to Charlie Kirk's neck starts at the C2 neck vertebrae. Now, many have been trying to guess based on the bullet hole where that was. Now, I've been able to speak with several people that are connected to law enforcement, connected to the state of Utah, connected to Turning Point USA. So here's what I've gathered. The bullet crashed through C2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, sadly, completely destroying Charlie Kirk's spinal cord. This is what made him tense up. This is what made his heart stop beating and why gushes of blood versus squirts of blood were coming out of him. The doctor found the main portion of the bullet near his T1 thoracic vertebrae, so near the spine, down where the neck vertebrae connect to the upper back vertebrae. Now, this person that I spoke with did not know whether the bullet was a 30-06. That was not shared. They just referenced it as a bullet. Also, near T1, but not next to the bullet, were multiple fragments of the bullet. Now, a full metal jacket 30-06 round would have gone right through Charlie, would have gone right through the bone of Charlie. A soft point 30-06 would likely have mushroomed, but caused massive amounts of damage, which we didn't see. We also know for a fact no bullet left his body. There was no blood spray, no blood spatter, and no hole in the banner behind him. Now we are believing that the bullet, a 30-06, because of the gun that was found in the backwoods near somebody's chicken coop. So that gun had a spent casing of a 30-06. But we don't know with 100% certainty that the bullet that was in that casing is the bullet in Charlie Kirk's neck. Okay. So it was not ejected. So if this was some kind of patsy or setup, that bullet could have been fired or it could have been fired somewhere else. And all we know is that there is a casing inside of that gun. And now we're getting reports that it may not be a 30-06 bullet that was found in his body. So the likelihood that it is a 30-06 that even after smashing through his neck didn't come out the back end is very, very, very unlikely. Okay, we know from past Turning Point events that typically 5 4K HD cameras are part of the setup when they go live. On this particular day, they did not go live on their YouTube channel. That shouldn't make anyone suspicious. It was just a business decision. However, what we do know is that there were at least 3 turning point cameras pointed right at Charlie Kirk's body. One from behind to the side, and then one in the front to his side. Now, I was told all of that footage has been turned over from Turning Point to the FBI. They no longer have that footage. They're not sharing it with anyone. They didn't make copies, and they did not allow me to see the footage. Everything has been handed over to the FBI. However, the person I spoke with confirmed this to me and said that the cameras were all filming in 4K. This means that everything you and I saw on blurry videos, grainy videos, zoomed in videos, videos that lost their quality or were screen shares or screen shares of screen shares, that is not what the FBI is looking at. They have 4K of the situation. So I was told this footage will be used because of the high quality 4K in the upcoming trial against Tyler Robinson. It shows the murder, death, and the bodily damage. So that footage is not going to likely ever be shown to the public. I hate to be the one to tell you this. Even if it's shown in court, where we're now learning it's going to be a public open trial, they likely will not show that on national television because of the extreme amount of blood, gore, and how gruesome it is. But I wanted to let you guys know it was confirmed, it captured in 4K, and it was released to the FBI. Now, on the topic of footage, remember how a Turning Point employee showed Candace Owens the footage? That footage may or may not be allowed in the court case. However, there were 2 others that were not shown that I believe will be a part of the court case. Now, I was told this particular Turning Point USA employee is extremely loyal to Charlie Kirk, a friend, someone who has worked for Turning Point for many, many years. So I'm saddened that Candace Owens brought up his name, led a lot of people to have suspicious, malicious feelings towards him. Now, I know she wasn't the only one, but Candace needs to be very careful because this person who she called a friend, a past acquaintance over and over again, is now receiving death threats, is afraid for his life and his family, and the FBI has cleared him, and the footage that he grabbed was turned over to the FBI. So my point in saying all of this is we all have to be really careful. A lot of people are putting out videos directly accusing people of being guilty, and now when they're found to not be guilty, it's putting their life in danger. So I also asked about the FBI. I was told that the FBI is in regular communication with Erica Kirk, but not necessarily always in communication with Turning Point, since no one at Turning Point is familially related to Charlie Kirk. Now, whenever there is a question or doubt or a point that needs clarification, the FBI will reach out to Turning Point and get the answer from whoever they believe has the best answer. Now, the FBI is supposedly doing their best, and we're the ones that are being impatient. We're the ones demanding that they release this footage to us, footage showing the shot, footage showing Tyler Robinson or whoever jumping up and running across the roof. Why were we given blurry photos of somebody entering the tunnel? I went back through my phone when I went to UVU campus and walked the entire crime scene. Those are new cameras. They should be HD quality. So why were we given blurry, grainy photos, and only when the person is kind of looking down to the side? Now, again, maybe they were nervous, the FBI, maybe they were nervous about putting somebody's face out there and having what has now happened to this Turning Point USA employee. So there could be reason behind that. But there's also this idea that is Kash Patel bungling this on purpose, or is somebody trying to set him up? I want to share with you a clip from Alex Jones with lawyer Ivan Raiklin, a former Green Beret, who breaks down what he believes is going on. Let me bring that up to the screen.
I know there's Trantifa. I know a whole bunch of these attacks have been them. And so, and I know this DOJ is not as corrupt. And, I don't think willing to do big false flags, but maybe I'm wrong, or maybe components in it. You could have another group piggybacking on top the Trantifa, at least 6 of them the days before saying he'll be dead in 2 days, he'll be dead tomorrow, then bragging, see, I told you. You got this Zen character that, is at all these key events as a government operative on record, getting arrested so the bad guy could get away. I mean, this insane he did. And then you've got all of it. And then, Candace, I mean, literally within days, it's like Israel, because he criticized Israel. Well, a bunch of people do, including myself on a lot of issues. So you bringing up Candace Owens, I have been just absolutely attacked for saying, where's the proof? We don't even know what happened. I've got every military guy, Green Beret, Delta Force, Army Ranger, Navy SEAL, sniper experts. Everybody says, and security experts, look at this and the behavior of the security team. I'm not accusing people that I believe that he knew Charlie forever as being something weird, but they are all watching him. It's like they all tense up. You have the trans shooter question, like it's a cue. I mean, and then you've got them all like it's a football play, racing and doing things that security people said they would never do, but it's obviously trained and something's happening, picking up things off the ground and things. So, I mean, instantly. So I see preparation. I don't see deer in the headlights here. And that's what the Delta Force guys have said. That's what they've all said. So what are you seeing here? And why are you saying you think Candace will come up with whatever the best, or are you saying she'll come up with the right theory?
Yeah, so the first part is I think it's putting the cart before the horse when you try to go after motive, right? There's a lot of people out there with the motive to potentially do this to Charlie Kirk, but you can't really, there's too many hypotheses out there when it comes to motive. You can't get there until you find out who actually pulled the trigger and then look at the analysis of who they're connected to, the financials, the relationships, the communications, right? Let's first figure out who actually shot him beyond a reasonable doubt. And then we can start working that motive component and then lay blame, if it was a broader operation. The reason why I say Candace Owens is because out of those with if you take a Venn diagram, who has the most connections of the Charlie Kirk ecosystem, one, who has the biggest platform, and who has the biggest trust level within those several spheres that whistleblowers and insiders will then be comfortable providing the information to. And my analysis tells me that Candace Owens, if she's operating in good faith, will likely be the repository of all data points, videos, and evidence, and insiders, and those people that she knows over years.
I totally agree. I think she has integrity
information
overall.
So she has the entire panoply of evidence to then come to a logical hypothesis.
I just hope she doesn't come up with her hypothesis off of wanting to put motive first or who's behind it.
Right. That's why I mentioned that first. Exactly.
Yeah, because, I mean, sure.
Okay, they make a great point, and I completely agree. I believe for the most part, Candace Owens has been doing great investigative journalist work. I believe a lot of people trust her. I believe she is going to be a repository to counter whatever we see in the trial. I completely agree with that. At the same time, is she sometimes looking for somebody and then trying to build the story versus just looking at the story and seeing who it points to? Now they're going to talk about the FBI connection. Hey friends, it's Stephen Gardner here, and today I want to tell you about something really exciting. I've just partnered with Monetary Gold, one of the top names in physical gold and silver. Why? Because I believe now more than ever, Americans need real protection. From inflation to market volatility to politicians spending us deeper and deeper into debt. Gold has stood the test of time. It's not just an asset, it's security, it's independence, it's peace of mind. And Monetary Gold makes the process simple, direct, and secure. Here's what I want you to do. Go to StephenLovesGold.com. That's StephenLovesGold.com and claim your free gold IRA guide, or call 800-608-1770 right now to speak with a real specialist who will answer your questions and help you get started. Don't wait. Protect your future with something real.
Well, who wanted... He got 2.5 million people in the last election conservatively to vote Republican. It was expanding. Soros and them are really pissed. The left was calling for its death everywhere. They celebrated it. And so, yeah, I'm like, yeah, okay, official story. Let's see. And then it starts unraveling. So I said, okay, looks like I don't really see evidence of false flag. If I do, I'll see. Within a few days, well, we got questions. Oh, 30-6. Wow, the bullet was found. You know, we basically broke that news. And I said, I don't believe it. Then I get a call from their spokesperson that was there saying, okay, well, I didn't give you the full report. This is how it actually happened, trying to explain it. And he sounded reasonable, but boy, they sure called me within 45 minutes Saturday night, 2 Saturdays ago. It was very interesting. And all of it, and so I just can't say Israel, but I do see, I mean, I see DNC, RNC wanting to take over his organization, not the RNC itself, but some subgroup. So I see D as culprits, if it wasn't a lone tranny.
You have the same rotten scum that was in place at the DOJ, the FBI, our federal law enforcement entities, and even at the state level that were involved at a minimum the cover-up for the attempted assassinations of Trump. Those same individuals are still in place because Kash, Dan, and Pam, they haven't removed most of them. So they're the ones that are potentially also muddying the investigation to make Kash look like a complete buffoon.
Okay. They make a great point there, right? The very people that were a part of the Russia collusion, the 2020 election, the attempted assassinations on President Trump, those people are still in place. So Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, they need to be careful because there could be an operation within the FBI to look like this Charlie Kirk investigation is being handled so that the president and Kash Patel, friends of Charlie Kirk, can say that this was done 100% correct. There could also be people working to make them look bad.
You're absolutely right. And in closing, that's exactly what Kyle Seraphin has been saying. We need to get him on tomorrow, by the way. That he predicted all. They are sabotaging them to make them look like buffoons from within, and you have all these little subsections that would be able to do this, interlace with intelligence agencies, and then they would put a bunch of, they would give them disinfo to actually then have it unravel and create all this. And looking at Butler briefly, I've looked at the ballistics, had experts on, you know, people who were on the ground. Feds came and threatened them not to investigate, Hagman and others. Clearly somebody off by the water tower in the woods is shooting. You see the trajectory of the bullet, hitting bags, hitting people. So they were piggybacking on top of crooks, and when crooks failed, they came into action. So exactly, past behavior by the deep state is indicative of the future behavior. I totally agree that bare minimum, they were piggybacking.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier, that this current leadership in the DOJ is not serious about cleaning house and doing President Trump's mandate, which means they're not doing our mandate. And it is incumbent on us to identify them down to the individual. So if you want to research, folks that are out there, start scrutinizing every single person from top down at the Department of Justice and explaining in detail why they must be removed. And that's what I'm going to be focusing my efforts on.
All right. Interesting stuff, in my opinion. I hope you found that interesting as well. Are Kash and Dan Bongino being set up? Are there people below them running this investigation that maybe didn't like Charlie Kirk? Maybe we're not getting the full truth. Or has this just moved from crime scene to conviction and it'll come out in the trial? I don't really know, but I do want to get to the bottom of this. And so let me continue with the information that I got for you guys. All right, now there's a lot of people questioning whether there was an autopsy or a coroner's report. Somebody put out a dispatch saying there was no autopsy. That's now being questioned as, was it earlier in the day? Was that AI? I have it on very good authority that there is a 100% chance that there was an autopsy or coroner's report and lots of photos of Charlie Kirk's body taken. It was explained to me that it is Utah law that an autopsy must be performed in the event of a homicide. It doesn't matter whether Erica Kirk wanted one or doesn't want one, or Charlie Kirk's parents didn't want one. It doesn't matter, because now it's the state of Utah versus Tyler Robinson. So based on the law and protocol for homicide in Utah, there is a 100% chance that there was an autopsy, and that audio we are hearing is either fake or more likely happened earlier in the day. So there was definitely an autopsy, and I'm going to show you a clip here in a minute, and then Lauren, the mortician, is going to be coming on to my show. Now, think about this. That autopsy could have been done after that particular audio clip. It could have been done that night. It could have been done in the morning before J.D. Vance and Erica Kirk arrived. It could have been done in the middle of the night. The fact that they knew how damaged his neck and spine was, that his heart was stopped, that they found the bullet and multiple bullet fragments. You think that they just guessed that? That is the coroner report. That is the autopsy. So to start putting out doubt that they magically have all these details and that there was no autopsy is just disinformation. Now, listen to what Lauren, the mortician, had to say, and then she'll be on the show to go into greater detail.
Actually reached out to me privately. Actually, I don't think that's weird at all. Totally normal for them to reach out to me, because this is wild. And they told me very clearly, yes, Charlie Kirk was autopsied as per homicide protocol, period, end of story. They didn't want their name out there because, let's be honest, they don't want to get dragged into internet chaos. But I trust the source. I verified it myself, and it aligns with everything I know from working in this field. In a homicide, an autopsy isn't optional. Families can't say no, and video evidence doesn't replace forensic science.
I love that. Video evidence does not ever replace forensic science. So there was definitely an autopsy. That's how we know all of this information. Now, she'll be coming back on to my show, but the questions that linger for me is, was it really Tyler Robinson? Was it really that gun that they found in the woods, or was it a more simple rifle, a less powerful rifle, like a 330 that definitely could have crashed into multiple vertebrae and shattered and still killed him? Also, was there a shot taken from somewhere else? I don't believe there were multiple shots, but that doesn't mean there wasn't multiple shooters. Chris Martin, Phil Lyman, others, they give very good information that that shot could have come from a different location. Now, the location they say, I believe, would have made the shooter vulnerable and likely had cameras on it. But there are some areas at UVU that are further back that I believe you could still have gotten a shot off from. So we know the spinal injury starts at C2, crashes down through C6. This causes the spasm from spinal cord damage, immediately kills the heart. The bullet is found near his back at T1, and the bullet is damaged and broken. Now, I'll continue to do deep research, work with my trusted sources to continue to keep you guys updated. If you didn't see the exclusive update in the first 5 minutes of my interview yesterday with Bianca de la Garza, go check that out. It's in the first 5 minutes. Also, if you didn't see my exclusive interview with Andrew Colvette, spokesman for Turning Point USA, I'm going to link that right here at the end of this video. If you found this helpful, give it a like. Please share it with family and friends. I spent a lot of time gathering this exclusive information for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay amazing, stay safe, and I will see you on the next video.